We are back. We're talking about Saturday night's main event. I almost forgot this show existed, to be honest with you. It was very weird. Anyway, let's talk about the goods. Even though there were only 4 matches, none of the matches were bad.
No.
I think all of them were good, and they were unique within themselves and the show, so you got a interesting variety of matches.
I was thinking that they would probably increase the number of matches because of the fact that it's no longer limited to cable.
Right.
But it doesn't seem like they did, so I mean, it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I thought everything was good, and then actually this picture illustrates the other one, that CM Punk and Jey Uso being the final match was the right call.
Yes, it was.
It was that, or obviously McIntyre and Rhodes, but given the circumstances that we got to this spot, this makes sense to me.
Give CM Punk his big moment.
And it was a good match.
Yeah.
It was a very good match. I really liked this one. The other match that was really interesting of how they booked Jade, Cargill, and Tiffany Stratton, where it was one-sided dominance against somebody.
I know. It was like a 5-minute match.
Yeah, well, it was one-sided dominance against somebody who I think lost one other match the entire year.
And that was against Stephanie McCurr.
And I think, oh my God, I think that was the right idea.
Yes.
This needed to happen for Jade because you have to justify her turning heel.
Yep.
And I think this hyper-aggressive sort of style is going to work really well.
Yep.
And I don't know how bad this injury is.
Tiffany Stratton look like the sympathetic babyface sort of thing.
I don't know why people thought Tiffany's title reign was bad. I mean, there were some really stinker of matches. Don't get me wrong, but
I thought it was pretty good for her career.
Yeah, and keep in mind she's still
like 22.
Yeah, she's still really young, just like cripplingly, saddeningly young. Just makes me disappointed about my life, but it's fine. She's fine. She's not retiring next year, okay? There's a lot of retirements coming up, but
there are.
Tiffany Stratton is not
one of those.
She is fine. It'll all work out. But with the goods, and yes, there are some bads, and there are more bads in this show than there were good ones. I'll be honest with you. Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre's match was fine, but where in the actual fuck do you go with McIntyre at this point? Because he can sit there and bitch and moan about another title match because he got DDT'd on the belt.
But he asked for this.
Well, he asked for a if Cody Rhodes was disqualified or if he was counted out, he would lose the title. Right. He did do that. But Cody Rhodes DDT'd McIntyre on the belt. Once again, another belt shot. But where do you go with McIntyre from here? I think McIntyre should at least take some time off. He needs to get away from the main or the title scene for a while.
He does. He needs a good non-title rivalry.
He does. But then what do you do with Rhodes again? You don't have a big time heel that can go against Rhodes right now.
Right.
Right now, I can't think of any. That's why I was really pushing with LA. LA beats Cena in December, turns heel, goes after Rhodes, beats him for the title. That one to me makes the most sense. That's just my opinion, though.
Yeah, I don't. Who knows what Triple H is thinking up there in his little noggin.
Yep. The other thing that I did not like, I do not know why, they only had 4 fucking matches. That was way too little of matches.
Again, when it was on cable, that made sense because they were only given a 2-hour window of time.
But they're not on cable anymore. Why are they treating it as if they were on cable? They're on Peacock exclusively now.
Yeah, and I don't know that. I don't know the answer to that question.
I mean, I can understand in that perspective, but we've seen shows with 5 matches and 2 segments in a 2-hour time slot without a fucking problem.
Again, I don't know.
And the other thing that I did not like, so when you think of Saturday night's main event, you think of the throwback. They have the throwback theme song. They have throwback everything. Yep. Where in the fuck was the rest of the throwback stuff this year? There was nothing outside of the matches.
There
was no Jesse Ventura. There was no, when they were doing, standing on that podium thing with Tesselltor, and they were just sort of talking. That was great because that was old school. Where in the fuck was this old school?
I don't know.
That's what was bothering me. It just felt like a decent little show. It does not feel like what they already...
It didn't feel like a special show.
Right. It's like, okay, you have a bunch of title matches, but that means nothing.
Right.
You guys have already set a really good bar with this Saturday night's main event because the last couple of times you had Jesse Ventura.
Mm-hmm.
You had them doing the talking on the, up there in the podium area.
Mm-hmm.
You had all of this neat little throwback stuff. But you didn't do that this time. Why didn't they? That's why you were like, what? This is really weird.
Yeah, I'm like, there was like no just.
Yep. And once again, it's like there's two little matches. There were two little matches. At least have a non-title match somewhere in there. It was very bizarre.
This was, to me, was kind of the most thrown together sort of match.
This match should have been on Raw.
Yeah.
If this match was on Raw, this would have been a really good match. But in a sea of pretty good matches, it just was there. This was not. Yeah. This was not a pay-per-view rivalry.
If you had to pick the worst match on the card, this was the match.
This was the match. I mean, 100%. And all three of these guys are good wrestlers.
Yeah.
But this was. You're right. The most thrown together sort of lazy match that there is. I think the ending was a little creative with Dominik using the with the hammer. I thought that was kind of cool. Dominik is really starting to come into his own as like a neat little chicken shit heel, and that's fine. But there was just nothing really there to really bite with me. It just was like, oh, match is done. It felt like a collision.
Yeah.
It felt like a big fluffy collision. That's what it was. And that sucks because I should not be comparing AEW to WWE or vice versa.
Right.
At all. Overall, I'm going to give the show an Orange Cassidy thumbs down because it just didn't feel like Saturday night's main event.
It was just a show on Saturday night.
It was a big fluffy collision. This was a bunch of title matches. That's what you got. Anyway, so when we come back, we do have a match.
Yay!
It's a weird match, but it's a match.
We're gonna watch it.